Hello and welcome back to all of our surprise Sundancers here at Surprise Stadium. This will be our 2026 spring training season welcome presentation, along with our College Baseball Series Classic that we will have again this season. Before we get into it, I would like to highlight all of our success from the 2025 season, which, if you did not hear the news, we were rated the #1 spring training site for both Arizona and Florida. So, congratulations to everyone that was a part of it in 2025, and we do appreciate all of your efforts here at Surprise Stadium. I would like to start off by saying what the Sundancers are. The Sundancers are an entity of volunteers that help operate the spring training stadium here at Surprise. Additionally, they are a registered 501c3 that helps and promotes supporting the Surprise and Northwest Valley programs and projects. So what does that mean? It is the money that you guys raise from the 50-50 raffle, the charity game, which all the proceeds go back into the Sundancer program. They take in all the money they earn here during the spring training season and put into those Surprise and Northwest Valley youth-related programs. Those programs can include scholarships, potential fields for a community, potential youth-related programs to help keep kids on the right path to succeed. So just keep in mind, all your hard work here at the stadium is not only just the fun that you bring all of our stadium visitors throughout the season, but also for the good cause of helping kids get a scholarship to college or even another program in their community to keep them on the right path. The list here you see is the Sundancer Board of Directors. You will see them here throughout the ballpark throughout the spring season. If you do happen to see them, be sure to say hi, give them a wave, and introduce yourself to them. The Sundancer program is a great organization, and we here at Surprise Stadium are happy to be a part of it. Next, I would like to go over a couple of housekeeping items in terms of keeping contact information correct and current with the Sundancer office, as well as myself and Travis. Email is going to be the preferred means of contact just because we have such a large volunteer database to keep up with, and it would be near impossible to call each individual person for anything that might change throughout the season or any information that we would like to pass along to you all. So please make sure we have the current and correct updated email address for you on file, as well as your phone number. If anything does change, please make sure to reach out the provided email that you see on the screen, sundanceroffice@surpriseaz.gov. That email is a distribution list to the Sundancer office, as well as myself and Travis. Additionally, the office phone number is going to be 623-222-2322. The captains of each division, which you will meet at the training days on next Tuesday and Thursday, they will be doing the heavy work this spring, making sure that schedules are correct, handling sick calls. They are going to be your day-to-day contact. The captains will provide you with their preferred method of how you can contact them at the training days. They will provide you with their email address or phone number. So if you have schedule changes, if you're feeling sick and you know that you won't be able to make your shift, please make sure to reach out to your captain so that they can make the necessary adjustments on their end to make sure that that day is covered. All right, just wanted to highlight some of the calendar of events for this spring. We will bring back our College Baseball Series, which will happen over the dates of Friday, February 13th through Monday, February 16th. The 4 teams that we will have in town this year will be Oregon State once again, the University of Arizona, Michigan, and Stanford. Please notice, obviously, these game times have changed from last year. In years past, we typically have done a 12 p.m. and a 5 p.m. game. So please note that these are 2 p.m. games followed by a 6 p.m. And then obviously Sunday will be a 12 p.m. with a 4 p.m. game. This year, we'll talk about this at the training days, but we will not be clearing the stadium like in years past. So that one ticket that you buy will get you in to both games. So we will not be clearing the stadium in between each game. Spring training opening day for 2026 will be on Friday, February 20th, which we will host both of our home teams here with Texas Rangers versus the Kansas City Royals. The last spring training game will happen on March 21st, followed by our Out of the Park Music Fest, which will happen across the parking lot there at Mark Coronado Park from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. And also, I would like to highlight our end of the year Sundancer party, which will happen on that Monday following spring training, which is March 23rd. It will happen underneath the stadium concourse. The gates will open at 11:30 a.m. and the party will kick off right around that 12 p.m. noon time frame. Once again, you will just park in that main stadium parking lot. We will enter through the third base entry gate for that end of the year party.
Okay, so when you arrive for your scheduled shift, make sure to park in the Youth Baseball Complex parking lot. That's that big red circle there, that parking lot right off of Parkview, just north of the fire station and the youth baseball fields. So you'll park there, and then we'll have a shuttle that'll drive you to the back of the back to the stadium. They'll drop you off there. You'll proceed through our security checkpoint. You'll get your wristband for the day, designating that that you came in through the correct path. From there, you're going to proceed through the gates near the Rangers batting cage, and then you'll go to your designated section to check in with your captain. So we kind of changed this a few years ago with COVID. We no longer have the check-in tent at the back of the stadium. You actually will check in with your captains. So when you get here, make sure you get your shuttle, you go down, you'll go through security, you'll enter the stadium by the Rangers batting cage, and then you're going to proceed to your designated check-in location with your captains. All right, when you show up for your shift, you want to make sure that you're wearing your correct uniform as a Sundancer. So again, we are affectionately known as the Yellow Shirts. We're literally known throughout the entire world as the Yellow Shirts. We go places and, we'll be out in Kansas City, Texas. People are always mentioning how nice and wonderful and helpful the Yellow Shirts are. So want to make sure that we're wearing that nice yellow shirt, clean, ready to go for the day. So part of your uniform is going to be the yellow shirt. You can have a hat. So you do not have to wear a hat, but if you choose to wear a hat, please make sure that it's a Sundancer hat that we provide here at the training day, Tuesday and Thursday. It can be the straw hat or the baseball cap, or the visors are finally back this year. Make sure that you're wearing khaki, blue, black pants or shorts. Just want to make sure that we're not wearing any jeans or leggings when we're here at the ballpark. So just want to make sure that it's, khaki, black, blue shorts or pants, no jeans or no leggings, please. Make sure that you're wearing closed-toed tennis shoes. I want to make sure that you're comfortable. There are a lot of positions that require some standing up and some walking. So make sure that you're wearing shoes that you're comfortable, but we do not want open-toed. We want to make sure that you're safe while you're here. Additionally, you want to make sure that you're wearing the correct badge for this year. So each year we have a different color badge, and a couple changes on there. The hologram changes each year. Make sure that you're wearing the correct and current year's badge when you show up as part of your uniform. Another thing that we finally brought back was that we have hard copies of the handbooks, which you will get on Tuesday and Thursday. So the handbook is also going to be part of your uniform. Make sure to keep that in your back pocket. It's a great resource to be able to answer questions for our guests. So we want to make sure that we have uniform answers, that you have the information available for you if you have a question from a guest, that you can give them a quick and correct answer. And then I'm always going to say it, everyone makes fun of me, but part of your uniform is your smiling face and great first impression. Again, you guys are here to help make sure that the guests coming to the ballpark are having a great experience. And people spend their hard-earned money. They work year-round to be able to come here for the week. It's literally bucket list trip for them, and we want to make sure that part of that trip is a pleasurable experience. And the second they walk in here, they're seeing our smiling faces and friendly attitudes and willing to help them have a good time.
All right, now just going to touch base over some security and situation awareness. Surprise Stadium is a proud member of the Department of Homeland Security See Something, Say Something campaign. What that kind of means, if you see something and it just doesn't look right, we here at the stadium, we want to see something, say something. So we will have officers, at every gate, our pro-am security. We'll also have our red shirt staff, our part-timers out there with you guys. But if something doesn't look right, we would much rather investigate that to be nothing than to be something. So if you can, flag down one of the officers or get one of our part-time staff in the red polos. If you can't find any of them, please make sure to let somebody know, get myself or Travis, and we will be happy to make sure that one of us gets a police officer there and try to investigate that situation. Our bag policy this year did change just a little bit. It will still be the clear tote plastic vinyl with those dimensions of 12 by 6 by 12. But the one thing that did change is going to be that small bag or small clutch. That size used to be a 5 by 8. We have raised that size to 8 by 10 this year to kind of help mitigate some of those clogs at the gate that we have had in the couple years past. Also, we do allow the plastic storage clear 1 gallon Ziploc bag. So if somebody would like to bring in some food, all we ask is just make sure that it is in that clear 1 gallon Ziploc bag. Obviously, we do have the exception made for any medical reasons for coming into the stadium. So, that bag could be subject to search, but also those medical bags and diaper bags, obviously, we want to make sure that it is accompanied by a child when they do come in to the stadium.
So just a quick refresher course on stadium evacuations. It's highly unlikely that we will need to use it, but it is good to know if we do need to use it. So here's a map, and again, I will attach this to the email, and you also have it at the training days. It's going to be part of the handbook, but it's a route to the preferred exit strategy for each section of the stadium. Again, I say preferred because depending on the reason that we're evacuating, we might not be sending somebody out to a specific area. So this is the preferred evacuation locations, but we will obviously adjust depending on what the specifics need are of that evacuation. And just as a friendly reminder for evacuation codes, if we're on the radio saying, code blue, what that means is there's something that could potentially warrant an evacuation. We haven't determined yet if we are going to, but it's just something that has come up that we are thinking about the need to evacuate. If you hear a code blue, that's a great opportunity to kind of look around, make sure that you have what you need for an evacuation, make sure that we have paths that are clear, and just know where you are and where we're going to try to be getting people out. Yellow means that an evacuation is imminent. We have made the decision we are going to evacuate. We just haven't given the code to the public yet, but we are 100% going to evacuate, just a matter of time. Code red is we have activated an evacuation. So if you hear code red, we're going to go through an actual evacuation of the stadium. Each of your different divisions has a different responsibility in evacuation, and I will attach that to the email sending out, but also your captains will go over it with you on your training day. So just be aware, again, it's extremely unlikely, but if it does happen, I want you to know where you're at, know what your responsibilities are. So when you come in for the day, just kind of take a look around and think to yourself, hey, if we need to evacuate the stadium today, what are some things I'm going to have to get out of the way? What are some things I'm going to have to do? And to have a successful evacuation. All right, so when you come into the ballpark, you can store your lunch we have a refrigerator in the Sundancer tent, which is right there where you will get dropped off for the security screening to start the day. You can store your lunch in there, and then when you're on your lunch, you can go over and take a seat and enjoy your lunch back there. Or you can also take a lunch and enjoy sit in a seat that does not have a current patron in it. You can enjoy your lunch and kind of watch a couple minutes of the game. Just know when you're at work, you're in your Sundancer uniform, even if you're on a lunch, to the general public, they still see you as a Sundancer. They still see you on duty. If somebody asks you a question while you're on your lunch, do not respond with, I'm on my lunch, I can't help you, go get somebody else. I expect you to be able to help that person, be able to direct them to the right space. Additionally, Aramark will be able to get a 40% discount for all the lunches or for all their meals as long as you're wearing your Sundancer uniform and you have your badge with you. Just make sure when you go to that line, go to the line that has the Sundancer logo above the register. That will be the designated line to make sure that the cashier knows that you get that 40% discount. Following your shift, you are more than welcome to stay and watch the game. But again, remember, you are still representing the Sundancers. If you got done with your shift, say you're in parking and it's now the fourth inning, fifth inning, and you're in watching the game and you still have your Sundancer uniform on, somebody asks you a question, don't say I'm off duty. Ask somebody else. You are on duty because you are part of a Sundancer organization, then you have your Sundancer uniform on. So even if you are done with your shift for the day, but you decided to hang out and watch the game, make sure that you're representing the Sundancers in a positive manner and you're helping our guest. Please do not sit in sections 101 through 106. Though it's basically from the inside of the dugout to the inside of the dugout on the first and the third base sides, as well as behind home plate. Those are a lot of season ticket holders and team seats. So it may look like there's a seat open, but it could be somebody that is working and they ran that back to the clubhouse and got something and come back. So we just don't want to get into a situation where we're sitting in seats that people actually are at for the game. So if you sit outside of those sections, so 107 and higher, just make sure that it's an open seat. And if for some reason a paying guest comes back and they have a ticket for that seat, do not give them an argument of, oh, no, I'm on my break, I'm sitting here. No, that's their seat that they paid for, and just, politely say, oh, I'm sorry, let me move. I was just taking a quick break, or I just finished my shift. If you're done with your shift and you decide to have an adult beverage, again, you are more than welcome to, but make sure that you are not wearing your Sundancer shirt while you do so. I don't want it to come across, even though we all know that, or even though you know that you're off shift. The people in the stands do not know that, so don't want the representation of a Sundancer sitting there while on duty drinking a beer. So if you're off duty, make sure that you take off your shirt, you replace your shirt, or put a shirt over your Sundancer uniform when you're off duty if you wanted to enjoy an adult beverage.
All right, now kind of a perk that you guys do have as being Sundancers. So we will be doing our good time games again this season. We ask that all good time tickets do be picked up and at the box office. The deadline is going to be February 19th. So the day before opening day, we hope to have all of the Sundancer tickets picked up. Just as a reminder, you must be present with your Sundancer badge when you come up to the window, and just make sure that we're being friendly with our box office staff. You will receive those 2 tickets to 2 games that will basically exclude any premium games. So if you can, please visit the box office at a reasonable time. Kind of an example that we give, during those Oregon State games have become almost small spring training games. Obviously, this is, our walk-up numbers are extremely, extremely large nowadays. And so we just want to make sure that we are giving our paying customers, people that are attending these games, the adequate response time to get them into the game, purchase their ticket, and get them through the gates and get them to their seat. So please make sure that we're going at a reasonable time and that we are very kind and friendly to our box office staff. And once again, I want to highlight that deadline date of February 19th. Please remember that you must be present and present your Sundancer badge to receive these tickets. The box office is going to be open Monday through Fridays from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. All right, moving on to our division training days. Those will take place here at the stadium. They are going to be on Tuesday, February 3rd, and Thursday, February 5th at 10 o'clock. Remember, you do not need to attend both sessions. We just ask that you attend one of those training days. You will park in the main stadium parking lot. We will open the gates around that 9:30 time frame. They will come through the third base gate entry. As you make your way through, just go ahead and start making your way over towards that third base dugout, and we will have a brief discussion over kind of just some highlighting aspects of spring training and what to expect and all those kind of good things with policies. And we'll have a couple of different speakers and introductions, and then we will break out into our divisions for specific instruction. And then also we will have strike 3 forms for you guys that you guys will sign. And once you turn in your strike 3 form, we will then be sure that you get your uniform for after the training session. All right, just want to kind of highlight a couple of new events that will be coming to our city and stadium here for 2026. So obviously it is the 250 year of America, and our department has been tasked with kind of having a special event for that event, and we were actually selected for the Wall That Heals. There was about 600 or 700 applications that this company kind of sorts through, and we were one of the 31 cities selected for this year for 2026. So it's a huge accomplishment for us, and a lot of that was chosen on because of the Sundancers organization. So we will have the Wall That Heals. It is going to be coming in on a semi truck, and this one is a 3/4 replica of the wall in DC. And so we don't have a lot of information about it as of right now, but we will be having that. It's going to be April 7th through April 12th. If this is something that you are interested in helping out with, please make sure to let myself or Travis know, and we will add you to that volunteer list. We will obviously not only be taking Sundancers as volunteers for that, because of it is open 24 hours once we start taking that wall out of that truck. So we are looking for as much help as possible, and obviously we understand that some of you might not be here during that time frame, which is totally fine. This will happen at Mark Coronado Park, so just on the north end of our stadium lot. This wall will come in and be present over the dates of April 7th through the 12th, and it will be open 24 hours. And if once we have more details, we will be sending that information out to everybody, and hope that you can offer some assistance and volunteering for it. All right. Another event that we are excited to host here in the city of Surprise, over here at Surprise Stadium, is actually going to be the Big 12 Conference Baseball Tournament. So we were selected and partnered with an organization with Rev Entertainment, and they are going to be bringing the Big 12 Conference Baseball Tournament to Surprise. It was previously held at Globe Life, but they have selected our stadium to host it this year. And those dates are going to be May 19th, which is a Tuesday, and that will run all the way through May 23rd, which is a Saturday. The championship game of that will happen on that May 23rd date. So this is going to be 12 teams that qualify for the conference tournament in the Big 12. And we're very excited to get this event. Obviously, it brings a lot of different different areas and different states to the city of Surprise. So that is huge for our economic growth here within our city. And we will treat this kind of like a small spring training scaled event. We will obviously, once we have better details on this event, we will definitely get those details out to everybody. But if you are still in town and would like to help out with that, we will operate it kind of like we do our college baseball series classic tournament. We will operate kind of on that small scale spring training operation. Not all divisions will be needed, but most of those will play a role in this conference baseball tournament. So just wanted to get that on everybody's radar to be on the lookout for if it is something that you're still here before Memorial Day comes in. There is some activity to be had here at the Surprise Stadium.